somebody asks the question, did I do wrong? They are feeling like they are being punished. When you are communicating, especially with your intimate partner, you clarify. You say, this is what I'm hearing you say, and I am wondering, do you mean? In today's video, we are going to be talking about a topic that is very important. If you ask anyone, what is the main problem that is ailing our relationships, they will tell you it's communication. And today, I want to talk to you about a practical technique that can really help with your communication with your partner or with anybody that you are in relationship with. And that is the technique of active listening. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, Live by Design with Grace Kariuki. It's always a pleasure to give you information that is going to build you as a person, but also build your mental wellness and your relationship. Basically, active listening is listening with intent to understand. In order to have better communication processes, or what we might call effective communication, we must practice the art of active listening. When you are the one who is talking to me, my job as the listening one is to listen, to understand your message fully, so that by the time I am coming to respond to your message, I already fully understand what you intended for me to hear. And on the other hand, you are satisfied that I have understood what the message is. And therefore, we are going to identify one or two ways to practice active listening. So number one is to be able to learn how to use your body language in a way that it is in alignment with what you are saying. Because in the communication process, your body language, your tone of voice, and your words must align so that your listener, you can give them the right environment then to practice active listening. You as the speaker, make sure that your words, your body language, and your tone of voice, they are aligned. The one who is listening, now you can use what we call clarifying. Clarifying is being able to tell the person who is giving you the message, you are giving them the opportunity to clarify, to tell you more about what they mean. So you might hear what they say and you tell them, what I am hearing you say is XYZ. Is that what you need for me to hear? Is that what you mean? So that you don't take a message and think or translate it into what it is not meant to be. Because that is where now the suffering, mental health issues will be triggered. You start to overthink the intention of the message. And in doing that, then there will be conflicts. So clarifying is a technique of what we call active listening. So you are asking, I heard this, is that what you meant for me to hear? So what are you doing? You are giving your speaker, the person who is sending you the message, you are giving them feedback about what you are hearing and the questions that you may have about that. Now, most times what we do, we have a communication process where somebody says something to us and we do not clarify. So we go away thinking, I wonder what they meant. So we start to create assumptions about what that person meant, and we will come up with a conclusion that is not the message that the person intended to send to us. And that is where now suffering within the relationship begins. Because if I think about it long enough, I'm going to make it the fact, and then I will talk to my partner in a way that I am either accusing or I am attacking them, because already I have made a conclusion and they might be surprised at how we arrived at the conclusion that we made. The other thing that happens when we don't actively listen, when we don't ask for clarification, we might find ourselves telling ourselves a message about what the person thinks about us. So we start to personalize a conclusion and we give it a meaning that the person who said those things to us didn't mean to send to us. It is important to learn how, when you are communicating, especially with your intimate partner, that you clarify. You say, this is what I'm hearing you say, and I am wondering, do you mean? so that now you can have a complete and effective communication process. Another technique of active listening is something we call reflecting. Now you want to think about a mirror, and a mirror reflects back the image that is before it. So when you are reflecting back to your partner, you are actually telling them exactly what they said. That fosters a way of the person who is talking to you knowing that you are really listening in, that you are curious and you are interested. So you might say, what I have heard you say is that you are needing for me to go by the store and get a packet of milk. So you've just repeated back what you have heard. It's called reflecting. And then the person who has sent you the message gives you feedback, and they say, yes, that's what I would need and I would appreciate for you if you did that. So I might understand you want me to go get a packet of milk. Now the other part that you may not tell me, and I need to ask, do you need the milk right now? So that now you give me more information. When we are talking about do you need the milk right now, what we are doing again, we are clarifying, which shows that I am interested to hear where your heart is, where you are coming from, so that now I might be able to tell you, yes, I need the milk urgently because the water for the tea is already on the stove. In fact, I thought there was milk and I have just realized there is none. So that now when I leave to go and get the packet of milk, I don't go and stop and talk to a friend and come back an hour later, because then the communication was not clear. So when we clarify, when we reflect back, then we are able to hear the message for what it is. And there will be less misunderstandings. And there will also be less creating meanings of what we think the other person meant. The other technique that we have is the technique of summarizing. So I have listened and I have heard what you have said. Now I need to give you a summary of what I have understood. I will give you back the feedback that says, you have said to me that you need me to go to the kiosk and get a packet of milk because you have water that is boiling on the stove and you thought there was milk and you just had realized there is no milk. And so therefore you need me to go and come back right away. And that is a full message. That's what I have understood. And then I am going to go and do exactly that. Therefore, when I go and I meet my friend over there on the road, I am going to tell them, hey, I am in a hurry. Why don't we talk later? And when you come back and you bring the milk and it is in a timely way, there is no misunderstanding, there is no fight. And this is very important for us to understand, that active listening aids us in relationships not to have misunderstandings and unnecessary fights over things which are they look very petty. If we practice listening to each other, then we can be able to avoid the unnecessary conflicts that have no value. The other thing about active listening, the ability to listen to your partner's emotions within this conversation. So even if your partner comes in and they are looking angry, they are looking aloof, and you are experiencing emotions from them, in this space where you are communicating, please give them feedback about their body language. Give them feedback about their tone of voice. The way you do that, you want to do what we call empathetic listening. And empathetic listening is where I'm listening to your emotions, is where I am willing and I'm interested and curious to know the emotions that I am experiencing from you. What is going on? So I'm interested in your emotional well-being, because with the words, with the body language, and with the tone of voice, I am also experiencing your emotion. So for instance, I might be able to tell, whether it's my child or my intimate partner, I might be able to tell them, I perceive, I am observing that you are very angry, that you are very frustrated. In fact, when you say to a person that I can see that you are very angry, they say, no, I'm not angry, I'm frustrated. Now, when they give me that feedback, because I have entered their space, their emotional space, then I can be able to ask, Tell me what's frustrating you. Then they will be able to say, so and so, it's such and such, there is something that has happened. So your communication becomes deeper. I want to encourage us not to do the whole thing of nothing is wrong. When somebody says you don't look okay, what is going on? And they say nothing. Allow yourself to be vulnerable with your partner. Don't wait for your partner to come looking for you. You know, some of us, we feel the emotions we feel, we sit with them, there is a lot of body language, but we are expecting that our partner will come to us and start asking us what is going on. We want to build our emotional intelligence to the place where when I'm self-aware, then I do need to self-regulate so that I can share with the people within my environment so that they do not construe the wrong meaning from the way I am. With empathetic listening, you are not problem solving. What you are doing is to hold space for your spouse, and one of the ways to know whether your spouse needs a solution or they need to vent or they just need to be left alone is for you to say, how can I help you in this space where you are in? What do you need from me? So that there is communication that is clear. Even when you are the one who is receiving feedback from your partner, either through body language, let's learn how to speak in a way that our partner is knowing that we can see them. But especially when people are passive aggressive, what happens is that we begin to ask ourselves, what did I do wrong? Whenever somebody asks the question, did I do wrong? They are feeling punished. They are feeling like they are being punished. Because you are not punishing anybody by the way you are, it is always good to be open about that emotional experience you are having so that your intimate partner does not begin to internalize that maybe there is something they did wrong and you are withholding information. Then there is also compassionate listening, and compassionate listening is where you come in with compassion, and compassion usually it is going to translate into a solution. So you are saying, I am seeing how you are suffering, I'm curious about how you are feeling, and I'm willing and I am here available for us to find a solution together. Now, one of the things that is important is also to understand what causes you not to actively listen, the background noise. So the moment my partner comes and says, we need to talk, or ask a question, immediately, depending on what is going on in my inner environment, I am going to react instead of responding, instead of actively listening, because I am already on defense or attack mode. Improve your emotional intelligence, because active listening is actually a technique that you can learn because you have already become emotionally intelligent, where you are able to manage yourself. You know yourself, you are able to manage your emotions, you do not project them to other people. And then number two, you are able to understand how people experience you, so that now you can communicate with them in a way that is going to foster healthy communication. If I can be of any help to you and your relationship, reach out to me. You can see my website, you can go there, you can book a session, and you can chat with us on WhatsApp, and we will be able to help you as you make the intentional choice to live by design.